Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Amani and I am a makeup artist in South Carolina. So thank you so much for tuning into my video and I hope you all enjoy. By the title, you already know that this is going to be my updated soft glam makeup tutorial. So yeah, let's get into it. So first of all, I wiped off her face with a Neutrogena wipe just to be sure that we start off with a clean canvas, and then I went in with some Mario Pedescual spray just to freshen up her skin a little, and then I used the Kate Somerville moisturizing cream. And then after the moisturizing cream, I went in with the Milk Hydro Grip primer and we primed her face. So yeah, so y'all, this video is actually going to be a whole talk through video. I know my voice is very annoying, but I really want y'all to know exactly what I'm doing and why. So yeah, so it's been about 2 or 3 weeks since I dropped my last tutorial or last makeup video, and I'm trying to be consistent, y'all. That is like my number one goal for 2022 is to push out a lot of looks, a lot of different tutorials, a lot of things that could help. I feel like I kind of want to target like everyday people basically, who likes to wear makeup, who needs help like enhancing their features and all of that stuff. Definitely my makeup artist girls, because I am a self-taught makeup artist. I tell everybody all the time, like, I've learned from YouTube, and I haven't really been doing makeup as long as people think. I've been a makeup artist for about 4 or 5 years, I want to say. But yeah, I've been a full-time makeup artist for about 2 years. So, you know, I just want to help and encourage all of my girls and all of that stuff. So yeah. But right now I had a little setting powder on my brush, and I'm just swirling in that setting powder onto her brows, because as you know, sometimes whenever you're doing the brows throughout the day, the brows can get a little oily. So you want to be sure that you set the brows before filling them in, so that way they'll be last all day. And then I'm going to add a little bit of glue. This is a trick that I learned from Instagram. You use a little bit of lash glue and you brush the brows up and over, basically in the shape that you want to fill in the brows, and that helps the brows last even longer. I like it because for me, I feel like it makes the brows look not microbladed, but it makes it look laminated. It makes the brows look laminated, and I love that nice sleek look. So yeah, I'm gonna fill in her brows. I'm actually filling out the very bottom of her brows, where the hair actually starts, and then I'm gonna go on the top and do the same exact thing, and then we're gonna add some concealer to conceal her brows. So normally I do one brow on camera and the other one off camera, especially because sometimes one brow doesn't look the same and it takes me a little bit longer to fix it. But today I decided to give y'all both brows. And the one that I'm working on now, I kind of cut the tail a little bit short, so the other one is longer than the other. But one thing I do teach in my hands-on makeup classes is to basically do the brows as usual, but don't spend too much time on it, because once you've completed the makeup, you're not even going to pay attention to the brows or if they're messed up or anything. But if you do see that they still need a little bit fixing, then just add your final touches to them. But I don't spend too much time on brows at all. So yeah, I didn't edit this part too much. I'm just showing you exactly what I do whenever I am doing the brows. And by the way, everything that I'll be using will be in the description box, even the brushes that I'll be using, because I know how you girls like to tussle on the internet, okay? On YouTube, y'all be dogging me in the comments talking about, what product did you use? You didn't list it. But no, seriously, I'm going to list everything in the description box. Sometimes I be forgetting some of the things that I be using, because I'm like, dang, man, this is a lot. But yeah, I'll have everything listed in the description box. But I want to tell y'all about this brow brush. This is my absolute favorite brow brush. So this brush is from, she's a makeup artist as well. She's an esthetician. I can't remember where she is from, but her name is Beats by Aerie. I'm pretty sure y'all seen her because her brows be going viral. Like she's bomb. But yeah, so this is her brow brush in the what is it? I want to say it's C23, a C26. But yeah, this is the only brush that she has shaped like this. So I'll list her website below. So if you want, you can purchase the brow brush. But yeah, her brows look really, really good. And now I'm going to take a Real Technique brush. It's kind of like a flat top dome brush, I want to say. And I'm going to blend out that concealer around her eyes. So whenever I blending out the concealer, I want to blend it out thoroughly, especially on her forehead, because sometimes, well, a long time ago when I used to add the foundation, I used to add the foundation right on top of the concealer looking like that, and I could see like the little dryness or the patchiness of the concealer in my foundation. So I've learned to always blend it out on the skin. All right, and now we are moving on to the eyes. I am using the Helen E base. This is a white base. I want to say this is shade 1 or shade 0, but it is the lightest base that she had. And I'm just tapping that on her eyelid and around her eye socket, so that way whatever shadows I put on there, it can be nice and vibrant or whatever. But I'm doing neutral shadows, so I really didn't have to add this base, but whatever I'm adding on the lid is going to be a light color, and I wanted to be sure that that pops on her eyes. And then I'm going to take a clean brush and I'm going to pat out her eyes, or pat out that base, so that way I'm ensured that it isn't bulgy or anything, because you definitely do not want to add eyeshadow on top of creasy eyelids. The palette we are working from today is going to be the AC Cosmetics AM PM palette. I love this little palette. I feel like this is a really good traveling palette, especially if you don't want to do a lot of colors. But even if you do, she still have like darker colors in there, but everything is pretty much neutral, that you can use it anytime. Like you can also do like a really nice glam look. You can do a cut crease with these looks. She also has shimmers in her palette too. So this is a really good palette to get your hands on. Even if you're a neutral makeup artist, this would be a really good palette. So I'm using this brown shade that she have in there, and then I'm going to go in with another dark shade. And then she has this other light neutral shadow. I'll be putting that on her lid, tapping that on. But one thing I noticed about my work, my eyeshadow has really gone down here. If I'm not doing a cut crease, I feel like my eyeshadow really don't be hitting the way I want it to hit, but I feel like the face makes up for it all. But I'm still practicing my eyeshadow techniques because we got to do a little bit better than this, but it was really pretty. It came out really nice. And here is that darker color I was telling you that I was adding. So I'm adding that around her crease or in her crease just to make it a little bit darker. So it could appear like a bulging eye, I want to say. I believe that's the correct term. And then I'm going to add a little bit more of the Helen E base. And I'm going to add that light shade right in the middle of her eyes. Alright, so for her dark liner, I took a regular eyeliner. I believe this is a NARS. I really like this NARS eyeliner because it's really creamy and I feel like I don't have to do too much or really hurt her eyes to get the color pay off or get the color on her eyes. So yeah, I took that liner and I lined her eyes directly where her lashes are. And I took a smudging brush and I started to blend that back and forth to kind of smudge out the liner a little bit because I didn't want the liner straight or to be really clean. I kind of wanted to be like really fluffy and fanned out, blended out. All right, and now I'm going to take the concealer that I use for her eyebrows and I'm going to clean up that liner just a little bit. As you can see the difference, it looks so much sharper and cleaner. That's a really good technique if you don't know how to do a wing liner. Okay, and now for my favorite part, which is the skin. Y'all, I love doing skin. Like it just be looking so good to see like the whole look come together, the way you can change the shape and form of things is really bomb to me. But right now, as you can see, her foundation is a little bit darker than her actual skin tone. And I wanted it to be that way because I'm going to highlight and contour and all of that extra stuff. So it's going to lighten up in the end, as you'll see. And the foundation I am using is Aruba, and I think I use a little bit of Macao. So yeah, I blended those two together and I am patting those into her skin. And this brush that I'm using is my absolute favorite foundation brush. This is the e.l.f. I can't remember the name of it, but this is an e.l.f. brush. It's the only brush that they have shaped like this. I'll find out and I'll list it in the description box. So y'all can get that brush. It was only $6 and it blends foundation well, really good. But yeah, I'm just tapping that foundation all on her face. I started at the jawline and worked my way up. And I'm just doing one side so you can see the difference. And this is me in real time blending out foundation. Like, this is how I normally blend out foundation. Just a nice, subtle pat. Pat, 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 pat. I'm not beating the skin up. I'm not, hurting her with the brush or anything. Like, I'm just lightly tapping that foundation into her skin. And I'm also going to drag it down her neck so everything can look as one. And also a quick tip, if you have a client who has like a shortcut or whatever, you want to be sure that you blend that foundation on their neck, behind their ears, and on their ears. So that way, if they was to take a picture from the side, they won't look like the mask. So you want to be sure that you blend all of that in. One of my biggest mistakes when blending out foundation as a beginner makeup artist was not putting enough foundation around the mouth and around the nose. I remember when my clients used to take pictures and they used to have like a little cast around their mouth, and that's because they didn't have enough foundation like at the cracks of the mouth. So you want to be sure that you blend all of that in. Like, be sure that you work that up in there. If you ever ask me what is my favorite, all time favorite product, it's going to be concealer. I love, love, love concealer. I think I want to do a video one day of just doing a full face with just concealer just to see how it comes out, because that's just how much I love it. But anyways, I am adding the Tarte Tape Shape in the color Tan Sand under her eyes. And I use a lot of concealer, y'all. So if you don't use a lot of concealer, you're probably cringing right now. But yeah, so I'm just adding that under her eyes, on her forehead, on her nose, and around her mouth and on her chin. I love to give my clients a nice bright under eye. So you'll probably see me later go in with 2 shades of concealer up under her eyes. So I'm going to take my foundation brush and I'm going to begin blending out her forehead, her chin, around her mouth, and then I'll start blending under her eyes. I'm not sure in which order that'll be in, but you'll see me do it. So I like for my concealer under my eyes to dry down quite a bit. So you'll see me blend out the edge of the concealer because I don't want that to get too hard or dry. And then you'll see me go under the eyes because under the eyes is where I need the most coverage. So yeah, I'll be blending out everything else except under the eyes. Under the eyes would be like the very last thing that I blend out. I'm gonna also blend out the side of her nose too because I definitely don't want that to dry. Lately, I've seen a lot of the concealer starts to dry up really hard on the nose. So I want to be sure that I blend that out as well. But as you can see, under the eyes is very much creamy, which means it hadn't been blended out yet. So I'm just gonna wait to the very last part to do that. All right, so now that everything else has been blended out, I'm going under the eyes and I'm tapping that concealer under her eyes. I'm also going to add a brighter shade of concealer just so I can get that really nice highlighted under eye. And then I believe that concealer is Milani. I love Milani concealers. It dries down really fast. It's really nice and creamy. But yeah, so while I'll do that, I'll have that sitting up under her eyes, and then I'm going to go into her contour. And for contour, I am using foundation. If you want a really nice natural contour, I recommend using foundation instead of cream because I feel like cream is a lot bit thicker. Maybe just use a little bit if you do use cream. But yeah, foundation is a little bit looser so it can blend out really good for me. But and her contour shade is Macao and New Caledonia mix. All right, so I'm blending that contour out on her forehead and on her cheeks, and then you'll see me go in with my concealer brush and continue to blend out that concealer that's under her eyes. Another thing, don't be afraid to get a little bit of that contour powder or contour liquid on her lace or on your client's lace, because it's going to help blend out furthermore. You know, it's going to look really, really good. All right, now it is time to set the under eye, set the face, and I'm using one of my favorite all-time setting powders. Y'all, this is probably one of the number 1 setting powders that I like highly recommend. This is the Laura Mercier, um, not Mercier, what is it? Laura Mercier um, translucent setting powder. I love, love, love this stuff, y'all. Like, this is definitely one of the powders that you need in your kit. Like, so serious. You need this one. Also, grab the honey translucent one too. You'll love that one. But yeah, so I'm adding that setting powder all under her eyes, on her forehead, on her nose, around her mouth. And I'm also going to add this under her contour area just to bring it out a little bit more, to get those features to pop. All right, and for her contour, I am using the Juvias Plays powders. I believe this is their contour bronzer palette, something like that. Y'all, those powders are really, really soft. Like, you will get a really good blend. I remember when I first used it, I'm like, I don't feel anything on my face, but I see exactly like what it's doing. It's a really soft powder. So this powder, you don't have to worry about getting like a harsh flashback or a harsh anything, because the powders are like really, really that soft. And I'm just popping that into her contour, setting that contour area. I'm actually adding a little bit more contour powder than usual, because I know whenever I dust off the powders and all of that stuff, her contour is gonna fade away just a little bit. So I want to be sure that I get a good bit on there, so that way I don't have to do all of that extra stuff, you know? All right, then I'm gonna go back and add a little bit more of that Laura Mercier powder, just to clean up her contour a little bit more. Another thing that I cannot live without is black eyeliner. So this is the NARS black eyeliner. Like I said, it is really nice and creamy. So I'm tight lining my client's eyes. Well, she's not really a client, she's a model, but I'm tight lining her eyes, getting it really nice and black, because I'm gonna add a little bit more eyeshadow to her eyes. I usually bring the black eyeliner down just a little bit more so you can actually see it, but I think I wanted to do something a little bit more softer, so I added like the black I added the brown eyeshadow and faded it out under her eyes. And then I'm going to go in with another color. I want to say I use like a dark brown or like a ashy black kind of under her eyes to kind of smoke it out a little bit more, and it came out really nice. All right, so it is time to dust off that powder. I'm actually tapping that powder into her skin because that's going to help with the longevity of the makeup. Yeah, so you want to be sure that you tap that tap that in her skin. And I'm going to tap on her forehead as well, tap on her nose, and then under her eyes, I'm going to tap that in as well. All right, so we're adding some blush, and I'm using the Juvia's Place palette to add that. I'm using that orange color and that pink color. Well, I use the orange color first, and then I add like the pink on top, like the very apples of her cheeks, so it can give like a nice gradient effect. And then for her nose highlight, I am using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow palette. I want to say, is this the Summer Glow palette? I can't remember, but it'll be in the description box. So yeah, I'm highlighting her nose, and I'm highlighting it more than I usually do. I really wanted that highlight to beam, like I wanted to pop really well. So I'm adding a lot to her nose. And then I'm going to go in with that same Juvia's Place contour powder, and I'm going to contour her nose with it. So here is something that I haven't done in a really long time, which is add highlighter to the cheeks, but I added to the very top of her cheeks, the highest point of her cheeks, because I didn't want to see too much of the highlight in the front of her face, if that makes sense. I wanted, whenever she turned to the side, for you to get that nice popping highlight on the side, but then in the front you see the nice highlighted sculpted nose. So another favorite thing that I love to do is overline the lips. I love a overline lip. Like, you can ask all of my clients, I give them a overline lip. It never fails. I love it. So I am using the MAC Cork lip liner, and I told her to fold her top lip for me so I can make sure that I give her like a bigger lip, make it really nice and plump. And as you can see, like it really worked. It came out really nice. So for her lip color, I am using Dose of Colors. It's like a darker nude, like a brown nude. This is a matte lipstick, a liquid matte lipstick. And then I went on top with the lighter color from Dose of Colors. It is the color Sand. And I mix that with a little bit of the lightest concealer that I use on her skin, so it can give like a really nice gradient effect or a really nice nude color. And then I mixed another favorite lip gloss that I really love. It is the NYX lip gloss in the shade Fortune Cookie, and I tapped that right on her lips. I was trying to decide if I wanted to keep her lips matte or add gloss, but y'all know I am a gloss girl. I can't really, I don't know, I love matte too, but I am a gloss girl, so I had to add some lip gloss on top. I'm going to add some shimmer in the inner corner of her eyes. I'm adding it a little bit to the bottom as well, because it makes her eyes pop even more. It makes it look really nice and tight. So yeah, I'm adding that to give her eyes a little bit of a pop. And then we are almost done with the face, y'all. Almost done. I also pop her lashes on. I don't know if y'all can see that, but yeah. So I'm also adding some brown contouring powder to her eyebrows just to make it a little bit darker, because I didn't want her to take a picture and her brows look like you really can't see them. You know, even though it looks really good, I just wanted to add a little bit more color to her brows. All right, so I'm gonna comb her hair out just a little bit so she can get the full look. She hadn't, I don't think she's seen her makeup just yet. Y'all, her makeup looks so good. So I was actually telling her I wanted to try this look. A lot of times whenever I have like first time clients and all this stuff, like they want the really soft natural look, but they don't really know how much makeup it takes to get this look. And I actually use a little bit more than usual, to be honest, but I actually love it. It looks really good. I asked her to give me an update, and she was telling me that her makeup lasts pretty much all night. I don't think she took her makeup off until like almost midnight. She said it lasts really long. She had to blot just a little bit, which is normal whenever you're wearing makeup. But yeah, I hope you guys like it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, go follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you all in the next video.